government failed to manage the crisis.
This is NBS Live at 9 with Kanuri Mugume and Samson Kasumba.
Zimbabwean Islamic speaker and also religious scholar is in the country, Mufti Menk. And if you want to follow events, be sure to catch all that on Afro Mobile application. Do you know how you want to watch that? You can download that on Google Play or App Store. You can also log on to www.afromobile.com, sign in, create your account, choose the events that are on live events section, and also enjoy your streaming experience. And now moving on, the Ministry of Education has released the 2023 USCE results showing an improvement in performance, with girls performing better than boys. While speaking at the release, the Minister of Education lauded this performance and tasked those in the education sector to consolidate this gain.
The 2023 Uganda Advanced Certificate of Education results registered better performance compared to the 2022 candidates. Speaking at the release, the Executive Director of UNEB, Dan Odong, said a very high percentage of candidates qualified for the award of USCE.
An analysis of the overall candidates' performance in the examination shows a very high percentage of candidates, that is 99.1, as I've said, qualified for the award of the USCE, and this compares favorably with 2022.
The Minister of Education, Janet Kataha Museveni, tasked those in education sector to consolidate the gains after it emerged that girls performed better than the boys in 2023.
Although they are fewer in number than the male candidates, as you saw from the registration, proportionally they have performed better than their male counterparts.
This demonstrates that girls have potential, but gender stereotypes most likely prevent them from realizing their abilities. Therefore, our system must figure out ways of enabling and empowering the girls to realize their full potential.
However, the number of female candidates is low compared to the boys, and very few take on science subjects.
The board notes that entries for sciences at USCE continue to be lower than for humanities. It is gratifying, though, that the numbers are going up.
Now, looking at the USCE results, it does indicate that there's an increase in the number of students that are actually offering science subjects, despite the fact that the pass rate is still low. Government is still pushing and putting a lot of effort on science to attract more learners. The numbers of candidates registering and appearing for mathematics and sciences are gradually increasing, with mathematics showing the greatest promise. Now, let's take a look at some of the statistics that you need to understand. In the year 2023, UNEB had 110,553 candidates that registered for the USCE examinations, compared to 97,890 candidates in 2022. That's last year but one. This shows an increase of 12,663 candidates. Accounting for these, 47,226 were females, while 63,339 were males. Now, candidates who appeared for the examination in 2023 were 109,488 compared to 96,557 in 2022, indicating an increase of 12,931 candidates. Now, of these, 46,860 were females, while 62,628 were males. You can see there's, of course, a big fraction on the male side. Now, let's take a look at the number of candidates that did register under the Universal Post-O-Level Education and Training Program. Now, it did have an increase to 24,679 in 2023 from 17,321 in 2022. Of the candidates registered under the Universal Post-O-Level Education Training Program, 16,008 of the total candidature were males, and only 8,671, that's about 7.8%, were females. We need to query and understand this fraction, while the females drop to that level. Now, mathematics has had the biggest numbers since 2018, with the total number of candidates sitting USCE shooting from 29,915 in 2018 to 45,000. That's almost double, 414 in 2023. Physics had 11,088 in 2018, and in 2023 the candidates increased to 17,000. That's from 11,000 to 17,106. Let's take a look at chemistry. Chemistry had only 15,145 in 2022, with the number shooting from 15,000 to 21,779 in 2023. The students doing biology, let's take a look at biology. It's one of the most, we can say, well-performed subjects. Biology also have grown from 19,934 in 2008 to 13,061 in 2023. In a dramatic turn of events, the number of female candidates registering for science subjects have also kept growing. In 2018, only 8,270 girls registered for mathematics, but 4 years later, this is in 2023, the number has grown to 14,654. Though physics numbers have remained low for the past 5 years, we're still studying why the physics numbers are still low, but they have also now grown from 1,095 in 2018 to 3,804 in 2023. Slight increase of slightly 1,000 students. Now, the numbers in chemistry grew from 4,456 to a whopping 7,339 biology students. Also, the State Minister for Higher Education, that is Jesse Muyunga, has questioned the relevance of enhancing salaries for science teachers, yet the results remain wanting. This after USCE results indicated that the science performance cannot be equated to the salary enhancement for science teachers.
Their salaries have been enhanced, textbooks have been provided, laboratories have been equipped with with the necessary materials. But when I compare the investment and the number of A's that come from UNEB, the two don't tally. For me, I look at UNEB as a mirror that tells us what to be reminded. Mama, where there is good leadership, the A's are many. Where there are no A's, to me, there is a problem with the leadership there.
Now, like we just seen here, look, the salaries of science teachers, we understand that they were enhanced, but what remains to be seen is, of course, the advancement in terms of improvement in the subjects of sciences. Let me bring in here the chairperson of the Uganda Science Professional Teachers Union, that's Vincent Elong. Many thanks for joining us this evening. We understand your salaries were enhanced, but government is yet to realize the results. Is it too early to make that an analysis, or we're just demanding too much?
Are doing their best. That's why we are seeing this performance improvement. First of all, we have come out of the other culture of part-timing, and I can say now more teachers are giving schools more time with the coming of teller machine, where attendance for teachers are being tracked by Ministry of Education. We've seen teachers more in school, not only in science. For performance, we need time because it is a process. You can't plant crop today and then tomorrow you wake up to go and harvest.
So, right, Vincent, what else should be done to improve the performance around science subjects? Because this looks like it's actually worsening day by day. Vincent?
Science, first of all, is best taught practically through experimentation, because you realize that majority of our schools come from rural areas, and that's where majority of our citizens, basing on their economic status, can afford to take their children. So these schools are seed schools. Some of them lack laboratories, infrastructures, equipments, which are needed to effectively teach this science. So my appeal, one, is for government or the school proprietor to improve on the infrastructure, and also revise the curriculum to make sure that it is relevant and up to date to the international standard. I will also appeal to government to address the shortage of qualified science teachers.
Well, that's Vincent Elong is the chairperson, Uganda Science Professional Teachers Union. Now, as much as there's poor performance around science subjects, there's quite remarkable and good performance around the subject of biology, which has been a major concern for the last couple of years. According to this performance, there was an improvement of 11% from that of 2022. Now, we spoke to Professor Arthur Tugume, a biology instructor, on what could have changed this time round.
I saw that last year the candidates who got A in biology were 0.1%, and now the results which have been released today, it was 0.2. So from an improvement of 0.1% last year to 0.2 this year, yeah, we can discuss whether that is an improvement or not. In my thinking, that is not something so big to say an improvement. The other group was the candidates who scored a principal pass. Principal pass comes from E to A. Last year it was 28.8%, if I remember well, and this year it was 45.2%. I don't remember the figures of head. If you talk of improvement, maybe that's the improvement we are talking about, that the people who have scored a principal pass in biology, they have improved. But still, it means you have over and above 50% people who have not been able to pass the biology. So the improvement is really not as that much to celebrate at the moment. I don't want to say that the poor performance in sciences is because of poor salaries, or the good performance now is because of improved salaries. It is very difficult to make that judgment right now. You need to give it time to be able to make that conclusion. We want to know what the problem is. The question is still with us. We have not yet found answers yet. We need to interrogate whether it is the teacher training, whether it is the infrastructure, the labs, whether it is the curriculum, or whether it is the way we train, whether it is... there are many factors one can consider. Could it be issues of policies on how science is done?
Now, look, several traditional schools are still doing very poorly when it comes to science subjects because they are using old apparatus, which makes it difficult for learners to perform well in science practices. While this is a general case, some schools appear to have dropped beyond measure and would require a total overhaul to resurrect them.
We have decided to take a sample of two traditional schools located in the same neighborhood and only separated by a wall fence. This is Tororo Girls and Manjasi High School. In the early 1980s, these schools competed neck to neck and were some of the prides of eastern Uganda. Today, Tororo Girls remains a giant, while Manjasi High School can only be talked about in the books of history. A journey to Tororo Girls leads you to several discoveries. With over 12 laboratories for science subjects and 27 science teachers, it is no doubt that the school continues to excel in sciences.
We have all what it takes to have a complete lesson, right from the apparatus, right from the chemicals. We never run short of them.
A few meters from Tororo Girls School is Manjasi High School. Once a giant in sciences, today lives in its own shadow. The administration at the school believes inadequate support from parents, coupled with old laboratory equipment of the 1960s, is a reason for the deteriorating standard.
They need to be refurbished in areas of gas piping, water systems, and even the electrical installations.
The magic bullet to improve the teaching of sciences could therefore depend on a number of factors, but most importantly, equipping science laboratories.
Later on in the show, I will be speaking to the Honorable Michael Mavike. He is a former Member of Parliament for Machi in the East and also a political pundit and analyst of late. Now, the youth continue to be the nectar in Uganda's politics as political parties gear up ahead of the 2026 general elections. Politicians are at it again, making promises to the youth in order to win their hearts. But veteran politician Stephen Birahwa Mukitale believes the youth will forever be used for political gains as long as they don't find a political ideology.
As we count down to 2026 general elections, all political parties and organizations, pressure groups and individual politicians are all focused on making gains from the majority youth demographic. The ruling NRM Yellow Youth Movement are already warming up to garner support for Museveni. The Patriotic League of Uganda under General Muhoozi Kainerugaba are already in the field, as well as the National Unity Platform is still counting on the youths. The youth have cried out the pain of being used and dumped by political parties and individual politicians.
Whenever you play politics without your own agenda, if young people come to the political field without saying what they want from an electoral cycle, they are likely to always fall into the agenda of pushing another agenda.
It is the youth population that is a fulcrum of the progress of any organization. And we want to harness our energy and power towards production.
According to Uganda Bureau of Statistics, more than 78% of Uganda's citizens are youth below the age of 35, and it's this category that is already bribed, intimidated for support. The NRM youth want to resist such exploitation ahead of 2026 general elections. A view veteran politician Stephen Biraha Mukitale believes it's impossible unless the youth change their ideology.
And the YYM is here to create a critical mass of young people who are not just here to participate in politics, but to elevate the quality of this participation.
Unfortunately, when you ask most of them, they were not government sponsored, they did not get free education, they have not got free health, but you will find them in the confusion of Pelao, of Waiket, of Akumeini, and even I don't think in Inup, they have also pushed for their agenda.
Now, let's get to political commentator Sarah Bileti, who speaks out on youth being taken advantage of, as many top politicians during elections take advantage of the young people to get into political offices. Let's see what she has to say.
The youth in Africa have largely remained cannon fodder in our elections because of lack of ideology and sense of direction. Most times, youth are not grounded in terms of priorities and clarity as to the direction of the country. So this lack of clarity for purpose is what makes them tools for political actors to use, to choose when to use or discard them. That's why the youth, who should be controlling the national democratic agenda because of their demographic benefit, are still cannon fodder for political actors. With their numbers, youth is the only single social group that can single-handedly determine the next president of this country. But they cannot come to that consensus because they lack clarity of purpose. If you compare the youth of today with the youth of pre-independent Africa, you see a clear demonstration of lack of purpose, lack of ideology, lack of direction, and lack of courage to pursue their beliefs. That's why they are tools for politicians to use.
Yes, as I promised earlier, now let me talk to my guest, the Honorable Michael Mavike, who is with us. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, there is internal conflict within NUP. Do you think the NUP can mobilize now to replace the mighty DP bloc, individuals you know very well, significance of which you do? Do you think it can replace them should they choose to leave?
Samson, we're heading for very interesting times. As you know, and for the benefit of our viewers, the NUP platform was formed by people coming from diverse political orientations. But the most dominant was, of course, the DP bloc. When you look at the numbers of NUP in parliament, I can see 43 out of the 58 members of parliament were mobilized and actually brought into the NUP by the DP bloc. They are a significant bloc inside the NUP. Actually, and very interesting, they are also the most notable and best performing in parliament. I see a problem. If this trend continues of particularly witch hunting those people or those MPs and leaders inside NUP who came from the DP bloc, I see a big problem. I actually see history repeating itself.
Can they be replaced?
Quite difficult. These are seasoned. They are seasoned. They are well performing in parliament. They are well performing in local government. And actually, I see a very big problem. What I see actually is at the next election, if trends continue as they are now, I see a tremendous decline inside NUP and even in the numbers in parliament and in numbers in local government.
Does this DP bloc have any other alternative apart from leaving NUP?
Well, you realize that every political cycle, there are new formations, and there are new orientations. I cannot rule out a new force, a new orientation coming soon. You will recall that around the same time last year, you could not think that FDC would be shaken. But because of the internal troubles that they had, the internal rift that they had, at the end of the day, they were so weak that NUP was able to form quite quickly and put up a better performance. At the end of the day, you had the FDC declining, you had DP declining, and here we are with NUP, a new force on the block.
You know the Honorable Mpuga Mathias very well, a man who takes his public image very seriously and will do anything to protect it. Now that has been shaken, if not rattled, do you think there is a chance that he can work with a man who has, in the opinion of many, deliberately gone out there to mudsling him and slaughter him to pieces?
It was a very big mistake for Honorable Kyagulanyi to take that line. It is clear that the intention is to slander, smear, and actually destroy the image of the Honorable Mpuga. I don't see an amend. And I would think that we are having history repeating itself. We had a situation in FDC, you recall, where Dr. Besigye and Muntu rattled the boat. We are seeing history repeating itself here in NUP. And I really don't see, given the direction that Mr. Kyagulanyi is taking, and he is NUP following, I don't see really a position where this can be harmonized.
Thank you so much, the Honorable Michael Mawike. One day we will tell this nation our history on Johnson Street, where we shared common ground. The Honorable Michael Mawike there. We're getting into the break. You hear it from NBS Live at 9, that if those two stay together, then that would be stuff of miracle.
We're coming back to give them the old school and new school.
Yo, what's up? My name is Benon and this is Vampos.
And this is our Taskamar conversation.
March is the month of film magic as the Uganda Communications Commission brings you the regional film competition. Experience the excitement across Uganda. Northern region in Moroto from the 4th to the 8th of March. Eastern region in Jinja from the 11th to the 15th of March. Central region in Mitiana from the 18th to the 22nd of March. Western region in Kasese from the 24th to the 27th of March. Come and watch some of the best films made by your very own creative minds on their way to stardom. Follow and support the different nominees as they battle for top honors in each regional film competition. The winners will walk away with prestigious awards and exciting prizes. The regional film competition is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission, increasing diversity of Ugandan content.
Raise your glass to lipstick, high heels and finesse. Make a toast to resilience, strength and sophistication. Come fill your glass because breaking barriers tastes better together. She walks because her life is less talk and more walk.
In case you're trying to follow the updates of the visit of Moft Menk is in Uganda, you can download the AfroMobile app on Google Play or App Store, or you can log on to www.afromobile.com, sign in, create an account and choose live events section and enjoy the streaming experience of whatever is going on. Now moving on, the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament has summoned the Secretary to Treasury, Ramadan Gobi, to account for about $380 billion allocated for the construction of the controversial War Hospital. To date, government has issued 7 promissory notes worth $133.6 million with only 35.2 work complete. Committee members have vowed to visit the site to assess the developments made to the hospital in question.
The Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, chaired by Mwanga Chivumbi, continues to unearth wastage of taxpayers' money that has been allocated on construction of Luowa Hospital after the report from the Auditor General's office pinned the Ministry of Finance for issuing promissory notes.
What's the due diligence you take to pay the promissory note?
With him summons and our powers to appear a week from now.
The committee members have faulted the Ministry of Finance for basing on reports submitted by contractor engineers to issue promissory notes worth $476.5 billion without fiscal works completed.
Once a promissory note is issued with a due date, once that I'm bound by that to ensure that come that due date, I redeem that promissory note.
Why are you releasing it? Really, are you releasing it on satisfaction that this payment is getting out genuinely?
The officials from the Ministry of Finance also failed to table supporting documents on guarantee payments of the promissory notes.
Can you provide this committee with the documentation which you depended on to spend public money?
Because you can't tell us that you can issue promissory notes because they are must. I asked you whether you have money or not. You said I look for it. Milestone completion certificate are for the owner's engineer, and I would request that you write to him to provide, because those are his documents and they are not my documents.
With this feedback, committee members have vowed to visit the site in Lubowa days after the leader of opposition, Joel Senyonyi, was thrown out.
Now, the director Pamoja Tour Agency, that is Spirito Muchibi, has been arrested at Parliament for allegedly coordinating with one of the staff at the Uganda Wildlife Authority, that is UWA, Michael Gobi, for forging UWA permit. The chairperson of the Parliamentary Committee on Commissions, Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises, Meda Dulbegasegona, says the decision to detain Muchibi was as a result of his company defying to use the right means to procure permits and instead resort to using some of staff of UWA to buy forged permits, even after denying his involvement. The committee tasked him on the circumstances under which his wife, Regina Atamba, advanced 5 million shillings to one of the staff of Uganda Wildlife Authority, one Michael Gobi. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Public Service has announced the deletion of close to 7,781 ghost employees and those irregularly retained on the payroll after death, abscondment or transfer. This follows the outcome of the special audit on the payroll by Office of the Auditor General, which established a number of irregularities in payroll management and recruitment. The State Minister for Public Service, Mary Grace Mugasa, says government will conduct the verification exercise from the 11th of March for public officers who remained unverified or partially verified during the special audit of the payroll by the Office of the Auditor General, among others, cut ghost workers and irregular employees and loss of funds. Let's hear what the minister has to say.
A public officer who will remain unverified after 17th May 2024 shall be permanently deleted from the payroll of the government of Uganda. To request the Inspectorate of Government and Criminal Investigation Directorate to investigate cases of ghosts, irregular employment, and loss of funds.
Feedback brought to you by
Write your story with us. Your story matters.
We do enjoy your feedback when you do post and comment on our opinion question, and that's exactly what we're trying to look at tonight. Now, on NBS Love at 9 hashtag, and we did post on our social media pages, that's on X and Facebook. What can the government do to improve the performance of science subjects? Let's take a look at your comments, and that is Santos Andre on X says, refine the syllabus such that learners can have more relatable and practical learning points. Facilitate schools with equipment and sciences should be incorporated at the very start of the learning cycle for better assimilation and understanding. Edric Aim Taremwa says, I once said, don't only construct buildings only in schools, make sure you put a well-equipped laboratory that enhances science studying in schools. Government schools are most with poor science laboratories that lack chemicals and equipment. On Facebook, Ibu Record says, let them just lower the grading in science subjects because for sure the subjects are hard.
Social Spotlight brought to you by Nexcom.
This is the Social Spotlight. We take a look at what your leaders are saying online. And the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Uganda says earlier this week, the President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, received credentials from 5 ambassadors newly accredited to Uganda at a function held at State House in Entebbe. The ambassadors to Uganda include Fatima Yesenia Fernandez from Venezuela, Mauro Massoni from Italy, Major General Paul Kisesa Semoni from Tanzania, Brigadier General Jules Ndihokowayo from Burundi, and Nicole Adamkova from the Czech Republic. The IGG, that is, of course, the Office of the Inspectorate of Government, says Arua Regional Office, with support from police, have today arrested the CID officer of Catherine Police Post, that is Terego District, that is Sergeant Fatuma Sanyu Sebi, for allegedly receiving a bribe of 200,000 Ugandan shillings out of the 400 Ugandan shillings, 400,000 she demanded from a suspect. Hashtag expose corruption. Hudu Hussein, who is, of course, the RDC here in Uganda. The confusion we are witnessing in the alternative government is in NUP and even within some sectors of public service is the foremost justification for that is PLU, that is the league headed by General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. He says we need viable leaders with proven passion for Uganda, none better than MK, that is Muhoozi Kainerugaba.
More to come, brought to you by
Regal Paints, even the walls like it. In association with Castrol. It's more than just oil. It's liquid engineering.
And when we return from this short commercial break, we tell you why Jinja City in eastern Uganda stood a test of time as an industrial city.
Special announcement. The Secretary General of the National Resistance Movement, NRM, informs party members and the entire public that the membership registration exercise will run from Wednesday 13th to Sunday the 17th of March 2024. You are therefore requested to go to your branches or villages to participate in the display, update, and registration of your details. Those confirmed dead, left the area, or crossed to other political parties should be publicly deleted from the register, while the new residents and those who have come of age be added. Please note that every member must show up in person, and only registered individuals will participate in the internal party structure elections and party primaries.
Welcome to Bakaima Real Estates, your gateway to titled property in Uganda. Come and explore our services, including real estate financing, land documentation, property sales, and more. Easily buy and sell land and houses on major roads connecting to Kampala, with unique payment options that include paying directly or through our financial partners. Enjoy landlord benefits while paying in installments of up to 3 years through a 30% higher purchase arrangement. Visit us at Ham Towers, Makerere, first floor. Real people invest in real value. That's real estate.
Imagine boarding a plane only to discover your border guy Musa is the pilot, or going into the treatment room and Zizinga the mechanic will be doing your body check. We all want to be served by professionals, and professions have standards, including insurance. Trust the Insurance Training College to maintain high standards of insurance professionals in Uganda through training and certification programs that are accredited by the National Council for Higher Education. For more information, visit www.itc.sc.ug or email info@itc.sc.ug. Insurance Training College, enhancing professionalism. The membership and training arm of the insurance industry in Uganda.
We've hit refresh with Castle Light. A premium new look. With the shiny silver label. An innovative cold indicator. A premium green neck label for a crisp and easy drinking beer. Fresh new look. Experience the fresh Newcastle Light.
Experience the ultimate in bathing luxury with Lanzo Luxury Bathing Soap. Choose from a variety of refreshing types, including menthol, antibacterial, ice cool, blueberry, coconut, and raspberry. Each one promises an upper-world, refreshing feel that redefines your experience with bathing. Lanzo Luxury Bathing Soap, the ultimate refreshing feel. Distributed by Chapa General Enterprises, located at shop number 3, Rafik Building, Chikuba, Kampala. You can find Lanzo Luxury Bathing Soap in shops and supermarkets nearby.
Oh, Sarah, these two are creeping into your personal space. Why don't we send them packing? Or maybe not.
Now, Jinja City in eastern Uganda has stood the test of time as an industrial city due to its proximity to the capital Kampala. It has been meticulously planned as a model city from where other regional cities should and transformed to spread its influence to neighboring.
Standing physical planning has been long, but Faminja has benefited from an integrated physical planning approach to make it a model for other cities.
When we set out to plan Jinja, our intention when we went in, we were thinking about a municipality. But when we got to the ground, as you may know, physical planning is participatory. So when we engaged the local people, they said the local leaders and everybody, they said, no, for us, we are moving toward city status, so you must plan up to where we think our city will stop.
The Speaker, Jinja City Council Bernard Mbayo, highlights the infrastructure burden the city has to contend with.
Jinja had about 215 kilometers of roads that were in dire need of reconstruction, and now that we became a city and having annexed a couple of sub-counties onto the former municipality to become a city, we now have about 513 kilometers of roads to look after.
7 kilometers of these roads have been rehabilitated under the USMID program, including Clive and Clark roads, 1.891 kilometers, Bellevue East and West, 1.466 kilometers, Busoga Avenue completion, 0.75 kilometers, all complete with traffic signaling and drainage works.
And we have also been able to increase on drainage, which were additional works in this last phase that we have done. Like I did mention before, I must thank the World Bank.
Locals say the city's facelift, thanks to USMID, is turbo-changing tourism numbers, driving an economic boom and contributing to a safe 24-hour economy.
Since the road has been made 3 years ago, we're not able to have so many customers coming because the road was dusty. But now, since it has been made and lights have been installed, our working hours have increased. We can now close as late as 9 o'clock because we are secured that light will come through to the shop, and also the customers are able to come.
Moreover, under the USMID program, Jinja brought on board the municipal councils of Lugazi and Kamuli. The program
the roads are very good and they are lit down in. It helps us to change Lugazi municipality because at the first of transporting their goods and their business, whatever.
Country's oldest industrial center 10 years ago has spread beyond its borders to its neighboring municipalities of Kamuli and Lugazi, with Iganga slated to follow suit in the new program.
Now, on the international front, 2024 is seen as a super election year. Not less than 64 countries are going to the polls. United States, India, Senegal, Ghana, and as well as the European Union. But more importantly, in the United States, it seems certain now that Donald Trump and Joe Biden will be going off with each other. What does that mean for Africa? Who of the two is best for Africa? Heidi Adams, VOA, does join me live. Heidi, thank you so much for joining me live here. Uganda is interested in a rematch between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Who of the two is better for Africa, in your opinion?
You know, that depends on who you ask, Samson. That is a very complicated issue, and it has become more complicated in recent months because a change in government here does affect important trade, economic, security relationships with African countries. So whoever is in the White House, we don't know yet if that is going to be Joe Biden for a second term, or whether we will see a Trump, another Trump administration return to the White House. And so it's very important to also watch who the new leaders in Africa are, and of course who the new leader in the United States will be, whether it will be the same or whether it will change. Now remember, former President Donald Trump was criticized for insulting African countries, using expletives to describe what he saw as the state of African countries, and for not actually making Africa a priority. Many of his critics say he simply did not put Africa on any of his agenda. The Biden administration has, of course, in the last year or so been touting a reset on the side of the United States in deteriorated rather than being boosted. South Africa being probably one of the most African continent. But U.S. elections, like I said, are important, and increasingly experts are asking whether African countries should do the same, because Samson.
Thank you so much. Many thanks, Heidi Adams, our colleague from VOA there. Let's just walk you back through the top stories right after this.
Top stories brought to you by.
Stay ahead in your business with Bank of Africa's contract financing solutions available at every stage of your contract. Bank of Africa, as strong as a group, as close as a partner.
Now, the Uganda National Examination Board reports an improved performance in the Uganda Advanced Certificate of Examinations results, with girls performing better than boys. Higher Education Minister says science teachers' enhancement is not being reflected in the performance of sciences and the political battle for youth amidst questions as to how long they continue to be used and dumped. You are getting into another break with an eye to Business Pulse.
Raise your glass to lipstick, high heels and finesse. Make a toast to resilience, strength and sophistication. Come fill your glass, because breaking barriers tastes better together. She walks because her life is less talk and more walk.
Attention everyone, the Ministry of Health has planned to vaccinate all persons aged 1 year to 60 years old to protect them against yellow fever disease. The mass vaccination will take place in 53 districts in these regions: Kampala, Buganda, Teso, Ankole and Karamoja. Vaccination is free and available at all government health facilities and outreach posts in these regions. The vaccination campaign will take place from April 2nd to April 8th, 2024. The vaccine is safe, effective and free of charge and has been approved by World Health Organization and Ministry of Health. This message is from Ministry of Health with support from Gavi. Standard Chartered Bank, Egabude! Apply for a loan of Uganda shillings 35 million or more and stand a chance to win school fees worth 1.5 million while enjoying loan tenors of up to 84 months and a repayment holiday of up to 75 days. For more information, please visit www.sc.com/UG. Call +256 313 294 100 or +256 200 524 100 or email us at ug.service@sc.com. Terms and conditions apply. Standard Chartered Bank Uganda Limited is regulated by the Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda, up to 10 million shillings.
MBS Business Pulse with Isabella Tugume.
Welcome to the Business Pulse. I am Isabella Tugume. The International Monetary Fund has approved 90.25 special drawing rights, approximately $120 million to Uganda through the extended credit facility. This follows the successful conclusion of the 5th review of the economic program by the IMF Executive Board. The disbursement makes an aggregate disbursement total under the ECF arrangement of SDR 631.7 million, which is approximately $870 million.
The Bank of Uganda will receive 90.25 special drawing rights, an equivalent of $120 million from the International Monetary Fund, following a decision from the IMF Executive Board.
Financing supports the implementation of reforms that underpin the budget execution.
The extended credit facility arrangement for Uganda for a total of 722 special drawing rights, 200% of the quota, or about $1 billion, was approved by the Executive Board on the June 28, 2021, aiming to support the near-term response to COVID-19 and boost more inclusive private sector long-term growth. Uganda's economic recovery is gaining pace with a projected 6% growth in the financial year 2023-2024 and rising to 7% in the financial year 2024-2025 and the medium term. While inflation has increased and the Bank of Uganda is responding by raising the CBR, it insists that it will not intervene in the forex markets yet.
As the IMF Executive Board expects another review of the same facility, officials say that Uganda will have to work so much on the risks that are on the downside.
As the bank asked us, and we have made very good progress.
While the Treasury insists that the Ugandan debt is sustainable, with the debt to GDP ratio stabilizing at 50%, the IMF says that more effort in pursuing fiscal consolidation and revenue mobilization is needed.
Uganda's economy ranked 13th on the continent, with South Africa ranking first at $401 billion, followed by Nigeria at $395 billion. Egypt closely follows with $358 billion, and Uganda's economy stands at $58 billion. The IMF President Representative for Uganda, Isabella Kapowitz, believes this performance is good for the country.
We saw the debt stabilizing for the first time at 50% of GDP. The fiscal consolidation is being implemented as we speak, and deficits are going down, including this year. The budget targets at 3.8% of GDP in deficit. And together with the reforms that support growth, this will contribute to further decline in debt and strengthening of the debt sustainability.
Bitcoin has reached record highs of $69,000, while Apple sales in China continue to drop. All that and more in an international business.
All-time peak of $68,999.99. Investor interest has increased since the sector keeps ticking upward from its 2023 doldrums. In China, Apple has registered a drop in the sales expectations, and the drop has been attributed to the fierce competition from Chinese brands like Oppo and Huawei. In Australia, the economy has grown by 0.2% in Q4, despite core inflation being high and exerting pressure on citizens' pockets.
Looking at how the markets performed today on the bourse, there were 6 winners and 2 losers in today's trading session. Centum Investments registered an increase in price by 1.78%, Equity Bank by 0.62%, KCB Group saw an increase by 0.39%, Kenya Airways by 0.62%, and Stanbic Bank by 0.49%. Nation Media Group, on the other hand, lost by 4.97%, East African Breweries by 1.01%, and Stanbic Bank has its last deal recording 161,800 shares at 32.50 shillings. Looking at the shilling, which continues to remain largely bound between 3,916 and 3,926 today. Traders say in the incoming week, the shilling is expected to remain vulnerable against the erratic dollar inflows. On the demand side, the key dynamic is expected to be heightened by the demand for fuel importers that will outpace the FX liquidity levels in the market. In the international financial markets, the US dollar gained on choppy trading and was on track for its second consecutive month gain as the US inflation met expectations and elevated investors' fears. Looking at commodity prices, sales remain relatively low amidst fears of food prices rising over the next few weeks. However, prices in the 3 target markets of Nakawa, Nakasero, and Owino is what we look at. Lemons and yellow bananas are going for 5,000 shillings a kilogram of lemons in Nakasero market, 2,000 shillings cheaper in Nakawa and Owino market, whereas yellow bananas are going for 7,000 shillings in Nakasero market, 1,000 shillings cheaper in Nakawa market, and 2,000 shillings cheaper in Owino market. Irish potatoes, maize flour, and matoke. A bunch of matoke is going at 50,000 shillings in Nakasero market, whereas it is 35,000 shillings in Owino. That's 15,000 shillings cheaper and 5,000 shillings cheaper than Nakasero in Nakawa market at 45,000 shillings. A kilogram of Irish potatoes is going for 7,000 shillings in Nakasero market and 2,000 shillings cheaper in Nakawa and Owino market. Maize flour is going at 2,000 shillings a kilogram. That is in Nakasero market, whereas it's 200 shillings cheaper in Nakawa market and 300 shillings cheaper at 1,700 shillings in Owino market. Let's have a look at what's happening in the world of sport.
Wind of change in the field of sport continues to blow in favor of women athletes and sportswomen who are gradually picking up nerve-wracking roles in male-dominated events as Uganda celebrates the 2024 International Women's Day this Friday at Boma Grounds in Katakwi. Several sports events have been organized to mark the day.
It was a good chance for a good release to find the bucket, but just didn't execute well. And Chirabo retrieves the ball from Ruth Letaru, and it is a foul called by the umpire. Foul committed by Chirabo of the KIU Rangers on Ruth Letaru. So it's a side ball for the Jetty Lady Jaguars. Last season, in the first round, the Jetty Lady Jaguars.
Rachel Rich. The Queen Cobra, the password of the money, the original no spare parts, the 11th commandment, the question and the answer.
Osmosis. I know you want money, but I'm also broke.
Ah, no. Money is not an object. These days, Momo sorts me out anytime. In fact, my sister, let me also sort you out.
Really?
I've just sent you instructions on how to get a loan on Momo. I'm here for you. Can I borrow some chips?
When you need a loan, you've got MTN Momo. We're sorting. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable. Oh, Sarah. These two are creeping into your personal space. Why don't we send them packing? Or maybe not.
Sparkles